Political scientist, lecturer at the Taras Shevchenko National University of Kiev, Petro Oleshchuk, commented on the situation around the negotiations between the US and Russia. Putin may tactically agree to certain agreements with the United States, but only in order to dive into the opponent to deceive him. Therefore, Putin will simply lead Trump by the nose in order to demonstratively show his weakness. He emphasized in an interview with Glavred. The expert says that Putin will not reach an agreement with the Americans, also because he is convinced that the Americans dream of killing him and thus removing him from power, as they did, for example, with Gaddafi. Putin constantly talks about Gaddafi. It seems that the image of Gaddafi is firmly entrenched in his head, which is what forms Putin's paranoia. Putin blames the United States for what happened to Gaddafi, and he says that Gaddafi believed the Americans, made a deal with them, and this is what happened to him. Therefore, Putin will lead Trump by the nose in order to later make him look like a complete idiot. Oleshchuk added, "It's hard to envisage the Russian president stepping down, but a coup from within the corridors of the Kremlin may force the issue," say other experts. Vladimir Putin is in for the fight of his life. His brutal and ill-conceived war in Ukraine, a personal crusade he has foisted on his country, has left his army mired abroad and an economy reeling under unprecedented Western sanctions at home. For 26 years, he was the one constant of Russian politics. But no wonder people are thinking much more sharply, not only about a Russia after Putin, but how that may be brought about. After all, who would have thought that a country so deeply embedded in the global economic system could so quickly be disconnected from so much of it? That a country with notionally more than £500 billion in its foreign reserves would be debating emergency price regulation for medicines, basic foods and baby products? That a military machine in which Putin has invested so much for so long could stumble and fall as soon as it steps into neighboring Ukraine?
About 100 servicemen who were detained in a closed area for abandoning a military unit in the Krasnodar region of Russia have escaped from their place of detention. Russian telegram channels reported this. The servicemen left the area by climbing over the fence of the military unit where they were being held at night. It is said that the fleeing servicemen were unarmed. A large number of police and helicopters have been deployed to the area, and roads have been closed. According to Russian media, law enforcement officers have blocked 2nd Trudova Street near the Krasnodar military unit, with many police officers on site and vehicle inspections continuing. Additionally, Russian media reports that the area of the local military commandant's office was surrounded by Russian National Guard troops and police vehicles. It is still unknown whether any of the soldiers managed to escape from the Krasnodar military unit. It is said that some of the escapees have been caught and returned. No official statement has been made regarding the incident. It should be noted that cases of forcibly detaining servicemen who have deserted the Russian army and do not want to fight, and then being sent back to fight, have increased. Earlier, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported an increase in cases of desertion in the Russian army and disobedience to leadership. By the way, a similar escape incident recently occurred in one of the military units on Russian territory, though it wasn't as large scale. This refers to the incident near Novosibirsk that took place in November of last year. At that time, 10 to 15 Russian soldiers escaped from their unit. Several of them had previously fought against Ukraine.
Да, кто-то говорит оружие воровали.
Ну да, еще. Дорого стоит. Ладно, это я, на. Держи.
Все, иди. Вы пошли, давай. Как? Как? Мы сейчас на модуле на заднем тут ехали. Машину.